Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, after further review, a little junior middleweight fight back in the day, ERISLANDY LARA versus CANELO Alvarez. Well, after further review, people, I think Laura kind of beat the hell out of him. I hate to be honest with you. I didn't have it close. I scored the fight. At the end of the fight, I had it 113, 117, or 117, 113 for ERISLANDY LARA. And I went through the rounds, and sound is very important. You got to understand this Canelo Alvarez we're talking about. It doesn't matter what Canelo does, the crowd is going to cheer, which I've been saying for years. That's not really good for his character because he hasn't had to deal with adversity when your body shot is not celebrated, for example, or him swinging at somebody is not celebrated. And it's really hard for these judges, but a judge, Levi Martinez, to give that fight 117, 111 is an absolute travesty, right? Jerry Roth had it 115, 113 for Laura, and Dave Moretti had it 115, 113 for Canelo. That mistake you can kind of let slide, but I don't think this fight was that close, to be honest with you. I think Laura won the first 3 rounds easily, with styling and profiling against Canelo. I'm talking about making Canelo miss so bad. Remember how when Canelo fought Floyd Mayweather? I think it was round 9. He swung at him, and Mayweather went the other way and looked in that direction like, "What you swinging at?" ERISLANDY LARA had about 8 of these in the fight. About 8 of them was making Canelo miss so bad that Canelo started going to the body. And you know how when Canelo goes to the body, he's going to the body with some conviction. I love to see Canelo going to the body, to be honest. He goes to the body. But those body shots were not enough to win when you're getting pieced up, bad, outclassed, styling and profiling with ERISLANDY LARA. And ERISLANDY LARA to have to go home after a fight of this kind of performance and go home as the loser of this fight is nothing less than a travesty. You couldn't ask for more from ERISLANDY LARA against Canelo Alvarez. You couldn't ask for more. You probably would say, well, why did you just stand and fight? Right? Just stand there. I'm ring generalship. That's what it's normally called. But it's not when his brother is just basically has ring generalship at the highest level. This niveau was ridiculous to watch that. And so if you wanted to ask him to stand and trade, is that what you wanted Canelo to do in the first fight with Gennady Golovkin? He didn't do that either. And we were definitely giving Canelo's defense. I know I was. His defense against Gennady Golovkin, it was just awesome in that fight. So, my point is when you got sound, it's very hard to focus, right? And sound is, I'm sure how sound is so important. Watch a horror movie, right? Turn on a horror movie, one that scares you, turn the sound off. That horror movie can turn into a comedy. If the sound is off, a horror movie can be a comedy now. I'm telling you. Be a scary movie up in there. And it was a scary movie. Totally a movie that scares the hell out of you. Turn the sound off and watch. You might start laughing. That's how important sound could be. So when these referees or judges can't have headphones on, which means that we don't hear nothing, they're not going to be judging like that. And Canelo is in too many fights where it was close. And he just get these ridiculous scorecards, like the scorecard with Mayweather. Somebody had that a draw, and he got whitewashed. You have to send him home understanding he got whitewashed so he can continue to work. Now, Canelo, no one wants to ever say Canelo's not working because that's a damn lie. Canelo is definitely a great fighter. But the fact that he's never on the wrong end of a decision, this decision right here, look at Laura's career. Laura is supposed to be a megastar. To be able to do that against what some people are calling now the #1 boxer in all of boxing. Look what Laura was able to do in that fight. If you're capable of looking at what Laura was doing in that fight. When you have a pro Canelo crowd, they're not really going to cheer anything the other guy does, but you will hear a lot of ooh. It was a whole bunch of oohs. You know what an ooh is? An ooh is not a jab. Okay? A ooh is not going to be a jab. All the jabs and stuff and the body punches that Laura was landing, no one would mention them because that's not enough. But when he pieced them up real bad and hit him with a lot of straight lefts, those were the ones that were getting oohs, right? Like Canelo would jab and get hit with a left hook, no, a right hook over his left jab. That the timing to do that is ridiculous. And that happened several occasions, but it wasn't nothing happening. No oohs and ahs. This was an impeccable performance from ERISLANDY LARA. I think I encourage anybody to go back and look at that. Just have to have some of these fights in neutral. If it was a neutral crowd, it would have been ridiculous. Just like Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury won. If a crowd was going for Wilder or neutral, then a lot of the aggressor in those close rounds would normally get the round, right? And it just didn't happen. People just going for the other guy. Um, ERISLANDY LARA has not really lost the fight. Jarrett Hurd is the only one you could probably say that beat him, right? And that was close. But Paul Williams didn't, and Canelo didn't. Those are two losses he should not have on his record, right? Now, you had a tie with Matt Rosen, which I told you guys, Matt Rosen is all that in 154 when he was fighting. He would just look bad against Golovkin because he was off 2 years, and he was lighter than Golovkin, right? Lara landed more punches in the fight. Think about that. If you lost the fight, you landed more punches, you looked better. You looked better after the fight. You pieced them up real well. Landed more punches in 7 of the 12 rounds. And 2 or 3 others, I'm not sure, but 2 others for sure, you tied him, Canelo, with punches. And Canelo wasn't landing in the face. And just Canelo, they were giving him points for body punches. But whatever. If body punches are so important, okay, good. So that means in 9 rounds, you had more punches or you tied him. Canelo only had more punches than him in 3 rounds. How do you come away with that with a win? And that shouldn't even been a draw. I'm not arguing for a draw here. He beat Canelo. Definitely. Right? And he's not #1 pound for pound. He's not even revered up there. He's not in the top 10. No one talks about ERISLANDY LARA. Just like his compatriots, Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz and Rigondeaux. When Rigondeaux beat Nonito Donaire, we had the same thing. He got blackballed. ERISLANDY LARA, they didn't even call for a rematch. And I think this was after the Austin Trout open scoring in San Antonio, Texas. Right? And it's a whole lot of other things that go on with Canelo that you can complain about. People really just don't care. And I think that it getting to the point where you guys just refuse to be fair when it comes to this guy. Refuse. Like, for example, the undisputed fight with my boy and Demetrius Andrade. I know that he don't want to fight Demetrius Andrade because Lara is a smaller version of Demetrius Andrade. Demetrius Andrade is a little bit bigger than that and probably would try to land a couple of power punches on him too and outpoint him. They're not messing with that. And Lara is the proof of that. And here's the point. Not only did Canelo's team not want this rematch, right? Not only because they didn't want Canelo to fight him in the first place. Canelo fought Lara because Lara came on stage talking smack. That's the only reason. And you don't do that to Canelo unless your name Demetrius Andrade. He's the only one that can do that. He ain't fighting him. But anybody else, you come talking to Canelo like that, you're going to have some issues. Canelo forced that fight. But they saw what happened, and they're like, we're leaving him alone. We ain't going to never address Lara again, right? And because Lara won the fight. And we can move on. No one will never mention it. They will keep moving on, and this guy will go into obscurity, almost. If he wasn't at the PBC, somebody, they're taking care of him. But still. And he is exalted as the very, very best. And he was totally outclassed in that fight. Great body punches, no doubt about it, but you lost the fight. So it would be nice if y'all go back and check that out instead of just getting mad at me. And if you can, right, just look at it. You got the time right now. Look at it. Don't care what the people, announcers are saying or anything. Just watch that and just see how many times Canelo was getting hit and couldn't hit this guy. But being smart, being a great boxer that Canelo is, he said, well, shoot, I tell you one thing I'm going to swing at then. I'm going after the body. And he had landed some body punches. Didn't land them all, but he was going there. But as he was doing that, he was getting pieced up in the meantime. And we have ERISLANDY LARA now who has 3 losses. And he really doesn't have that. And I do not care what you think. But that's not fair. So get your inner boom on and go check out this fight. And give props to ERISLANDY LARA because he did a good job against Canelo. And if Canelo is in your eyes or most eyes, he's top 5 pound for pound. But in some eyes, he's even #1 pound for pound. What does that make ERISLANDY LARA? Dome Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.